Chaim HaKodesh, on the words Shnei Chai Sarah. Torah first tells us that Sarah lived 127 years, and the pasuk concludes, and these are the years of Sarah's life. Totally superfluous. So Rashi, in his commentary, his Pirush explains, what is the conclusion? Shnei Chai Sarah? Kulam Shavim L'Teva. That all the years were equally as good. So we had explained, in retrospect, regardless of all the difficulties Sarah had throughout her life, she understood and appreciated the value and the goodness of every moment, whether she was taken by Paro, or she was taken by Avimelech. She was childless till the age of 89, she conceived, and every aspect of her life, as if there were Kazdim, her husband was thrown into the kiln. In retrospect, everything was outstanding, good. She appreciated the goodness of each moment. The Chaim HaKodesh explains, there's a question, Chazal tell us, what is Torah juxtapose the passing of Sari Menu to the Akedah? So the Midrash tells us, because Satan had come to Sari Menu, and it said to her, do you realize what's happening? And he goes and depicts exactly the Akedah, and rather than saying, and he was not slaughtered, he reached that point, the shock of believing and concluding the scenario that her son, which her whole life was that son, was being slaughtered, she could not deal with it. And she expired, she died. So there was a question, was Sari Menu meant to live more than 127 years? And this piece of information ended her life and cut her life short? No, she was only meant to live 127 years. And how did it end? It ended with this news, which it was too much for her to take. So Chaim HaKodesh says, according to the position that she was meant to live many more years, beyond 127 years. So as a result of her passing, all those years she could have lived or would have lived, she would have fulfilled mitzvahs. She would have served Hashem as a matriarch on a very special level. If she denied all the reward of the years that she didn't live. So on that, the pasuk is concluding Shnei Chai Sarah. Although she only lived 127 years, nevertheless, all the years she would have lived, since there's no question, she would have continued to advance and fully be invested in Kiddush Shamayim as she was her whole life. Therefore, the years even that she didn't live accrue to her as if she did live the years. Therefore, this is the meaning of Shnei Chai Sarah. The years of Sarah's life that she would have lived are also accrued together with her sum total of her life in terms of accomplishments. There are many locations in the Torah where the Torah tells us that Misas Tzadikim is mechaper, that the passing of Tzadikim atones for the generation, or the Misas Tzadikim is the equivalent of Yom Kippur, the death of Tzadikim is the equivalent of Parah Aduma, just as it purifies. Many contexts in which it's stated that what is the value of when HaKadosh Baruch Hu takes a tzaddik, but ultimately it's bringing about a level of atonement, purity, to create a relationship between HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Klal Yisrael. So the tzaddik is taken before his time. And the tzaddik only lives for Kavod Shamayim, only to sanctify God's name. So whatever is the will of God, if he has to be taken before his time for the sake of the generation, he has no problem. It's no different than any other part of his life which he invests for Kavod Shamayim. Now the question is, but now that he's been taken, the years that he did not live, do those years accrue to him? Because if he would have lived those years, he would have been continued to be the tzaddik. So based on what we're saying now, not only does he bring about the atonement for Klal Yisrael, which itself is the schus to be used for that, but even the years that he did not live, he's fully credited for those years.